In today's video, we're going to be creating this PowerPoint presentation using flat illustrations. So, without wasting much time, let's get straight to it. Usually when I start a video, I normally start everything blank. But in this presentation, you'll notice I've already created all my slides and I have also inserted the images. So all these images have one such term, it's illustration. That's all you need to do. Just go to insert, go to pictures, and then search in the stock images library. You'll find all these images and you just import them where you need them. And also I just want to mention that this probably doesn't look like what you see in a typical presentation, but presentations tend to be very different depending on what you need. So I usually don't have an opportunity to work with illustrations like this. So I just wanted to make a presentation where we can just combine quite a bit of flat illustrations in a PowerPoint presentation. So if you're just like me and you like illustrations like this and you rarely get to use them, well, this is an opportunity. It's going to be simple, it's going to be straightforward. We're just going to use these images as backgrounds or elements in our design, and we're just going to add our text. It's going to be very quick, very straight to the point. So enough talking, more working. Let's get straight to it. So I'm just going to crop this image. So we're going to start with picture format, and I'm just going to crop, and I'm going to move this handle by the right all the way to the right. This one we're going to move all the way to the left. Go back to crop, set it to fill, and I'm just going to leave it like this. Escape, and we have the background for our first slide. Now let me grab we're going to take a moment to look at our text. The name of this the title for this particular presentation is Balancing Work, Creativity and Wellness. The link to this particular text will be in the description box below, so you don't have to worry about it. And these are some colors we're going to use for some specific backgrounds. Like I said, we're going to take different approach to how we use, well, most of the images. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with shapes. So let's select this shape, and we're going to just insert this one here. So let's remove the outline, and now we'll change the fill to white. Let me change the dimensions first before I work on the curve of the edges. So let's change the height to 6.3, and the width is going to be 25. And what I'm going to do now is just maybe let's move this around. We'll also do some other formatting. So let me just right click, and we're going to go to format shape. I'm going to go to fill, and I'm going to make the transparency 7. Let's now insert our title, and I'm just going to go back to my notes, and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to go to text box, and I'm going to paste, and I'm going to change this. Is going to be play fair display. So I'm using play fair display. The size of this font is going to be 44, and I'm going to just increase the width of this text box so that it's like this, and we're going to align it to the center like this, and I'm just going to move this up a bit. Next, we're going to insert a line. So go to shapes, select line, and I'm holding shift side to be straight, and I'm going to insert a line. Go to shape outline. We're going to change the weight to 2 1/4. I believe that's how you say it, 2 1/4. And let's change the color. So I'm just going to go to outline, and I'm going to select more outline colors. So I'm going to copy this code for line, and I'm going to go ahead and paste it here. And we've changed the color of our line. Let's change the width. The width of our line is supposed to be 23.5. No worries, we'll figure out where everything goes eventually. Instead of creating a text box, I'm just going to I'm just going to duplicate this one. So I'm using Control to create another copy. And for this one, I'm going to go back to home, change this to Lato, like that. And we're going to change the size of this font to 20. Yep. And I'm just going to move this, let's say around here. So select that text, this line, this other text, and go to arrange, align, align center, and let's just group it. While this group is selected, select that rectangle, go to arrange, align, align center, arrange, align, align middle, and you can group it. And I'm just going to, let's see, move this up a bit so we can see this. Let me just make sure it's aligned to the center. Yeah, and we have this. We are done with our title slide. Wait, no, not yet. Sorry, I wanted to, this feels a bit too cold. All right, I prefer this. Okay, now we are done with the title slide. Let's say it's in the slideshow. I'm just going to open it, and yeah, this is the title slide for our presentation. Now let's move on the second slide. So I'm just going to go right to that, and I already have the image. So I'm just going to go to picture format, go to crop, and then move this handle on the right all the way to the right, and move this one on the left to the left edge, and then we'll go back to crop, select fill, and we have this. Next, let's insert rectangles and text. So just go to rectangle shapes and then select rounded corners rectangle. I'm just going to insert one here. Remove the outline, change the fill to white, make the transparency 7, and what we're going to do is change the dimensions. Height is going to be 10.5 and the width is going to be 14.85, and I'm just going to reduce the roundness of this corner. Let me see, maybe a bit more. Let me just make it a bit rounded. Okay, now let's go to insert text box. Let's grab our text. I'm going to copy the title, and I'm just going to go ahead and paste that. Select the text box, change the font to Playfair Display, change the size to 40, and next I'm going to select this and create a copy and make the bottom of this text box touch the top of this one below it, and I'm going to change the size of this one to 24. Let's select our second subtitle. I'm going to select everything there and then paste. Let me increase the width of this so everything fits. Let's create one more copy so that we can have our final text, and I'm just going to go back to my notes, copy this, and I'm going to paste. Let's change this to Lato, size is going to be 18, and while the text box is selected, make it a bullet points. So I'm just going to increase this till all the content of this particular segment is all on 2 lines. So I'm just going to select these two, and let me group them first. I'm going to select both of them, group, and maybe move it. Oops. Let me move just the group up a bit and see if PowerPoint would say, okay, that looks good. I'm just going to leave it like that. So I'm just going to select everything to keep it neat, and I'm going to group it. So we're done with this slide. Let's take a moment to maybe look at it in the slideshow, and yeah, we have this. We're done with this slide. Let's move on to the next slide, and I'm going to go to number 3, select the image, go to picture format, and then crop, and move this handle by the right all the way to the edge, move this one on the left all the way to the edge as well. Go back to crop, select fill, and I'm going to move this image till we have this, and then escape to close. Let's go to shapes, rounded corners, rectangle, and I'm just going to insert that. Remove the outline, change the fill to white, make the transparency 7%, and the height of this rectangle is going to be 11, and the height is going to be 16.75. I'm going to make the edge of this a little less rounded, and we're going to go ahead and insert our text. So let's go to insert text box. I'm going to go to my notes, move on to the next one. This is organizing workspaces. So I'm just going to paste, and I'm going to change the font to Playfair Display, change the size to 40, and let me increase the width of this so that we'll have both words on the same line. Next, I'm going to create a copy of this and change the size to 24. Let's go back to our notes, grab the second text, and I'm going to paste that. Let's also create another copy of this text box, and I'm just going to have it like here. Let's just go ahead and change the font and size first. I'm just going to change it to Lato. Size is going to be 18. Go back to our text, grab the text for this, select everything, then paste. Select the text box and then make it a bullet point, and we have 3 bullet points, and you should have your text all in each point should be on 2 lines. So I'm just going to reduce the width of that. So while we have this, I think, let me see, these two are supposed to be touching like this, and I'm going to group these two first so I can see if PowerPoint will guide me, or you could just group them. And I'm going to move this up. Let me see, maybe I should have just left it. I'm just going to select both of them, and I think let me just, PowerPoint involves a lot of eyeballing and everything will come out perfect, but it's going to be fine. I'm just going to select these two, and you know what, I'm okay with this. I'm going to select the rectangle as well and then group. So I'll just move this maybe slightly to the side and bring this down here like this, and that's it. Let's see it in the slideshow, and yeah, we are done with this slide. Let's move on to the next slide. So just like before, I already have my image. Select the image, go to picture format, crop, move this handle on the right all the way to the edge, move this one on the left all the way to the left, and we're going to go back to the crop, and we're going to set it to fill, and go to rotate and then flip horizontal, and I'm going to click on that and escape to close that dialog. Let's insert our rectangle. So I'm just going to go to shapes, select the rounded corners rectangle, and right around here I'm just going to insert one. Remove the outline, change the fill to white. Transparency is going to be 7%, and let me see if alright, I'm going to leave it like that. Let me change the size and then see how it will behave. So let's change the height to 4, and the width is going to be 14.75. Let me just reduce the rounded corners maybe a little, and yeah, we have this. So before I insert my text, I'm going to just create another copy of this rectangle and bring it over here, but this time the width is going to be 23.25, and I'm just going to bring that in here. Okay, so now we can go ahead and insert our text. So go to insert text box, go to our notes, grab, okay, this is team collaboration, and I'm just going to paste that here, change the font to Playfair Display, change the size to 40, and I'm going to increase the width of this. Now I'm just going to create another copy of this using Ctrl and Shift, and I'm going to bring this. So change the size of this one to 24. And now we can grab the subtitle, and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to select everything and then paste our text. And I'm just going to look at it. I like the placement of everything, so I'm just going to leave it like that. So let me grab a copy of this text box instead of creating another one. Control, select the text box, and then create another copy. Let's change this to Lato. Size is going to be 18. And I'm going to grab our text, copy it, select everything here, and then paste. Let's increase the width of our text box, and we're going to make it a bullet point. So now I will just make sure that it is centered, and also it's at the center and also the middle of our rectangle. And I'll just, let me see, I think I'm okay with how everything looks in this slide, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. Let's see it in the slideshow. I'm just going to click on this, and yeah, we have the team collaboration slide. Let's move on to the next slide. So I'm going to come to slide 5 and select this image, go to picture format and change the width to 22. Now move this over to the right and also in the middle. Select crop, and I'm going to zoom out a bit and increase the size of this image till we have this chart being much larger than it is now. And we're going to, let me see, bring it to the right so I will have a bit of space for our text on the right. And I'm just going to have this, and I'm going to close this dialog. Next, I'm going to go to my notes, and this color that we have as background 1, I'm just going to copy that and come back to my background, select more colors, go to custom, and then paste the hex code here, and we have this. Now we can insert our text. Go to insert, select text box, and I'm going to go to notes, and I'm going to scroll down. This is going to be visualizing progress, and I'm going to just paste that here. Select the entire text box, change the font to Playfair Display, change the size to 40, and I'm going to increase the width of this text box so it fits. Next, let me just move it maybe a little bit to the left. Create a copy of this using Ctrl and Shift to keep it aligned while creating a copy. Change the size to 24. And I'm just going to go ahead and copy the subtitle here, and I'm going to paste this. Let me create another copy of this text box and bring it down a bit. Let's go back to our notes, grab the rest of our text, copy it, and select everything, and then paste. Select the text box, change the font to Lato and the size to 18. While the text box is selected, make it a bullet point, and I'm just going to leave this as it is. So I'm going to select this too, and I'm going to group it, and I don't mind where the position of the title and the subtitle is. And let me see if there's any. Okay, so now I can have equal spacing from the top of this one and equal spacing for the bottom of this one. And yeah, that's it. Let's see it in the slideshow. I'm just going to open this. Yeah, we're done with this slide. Let's move on to the next slide. So I'm going to go to slide 6, and I'm going to go to picture format, crop, and I'm going to have this, move this to the right, move this to the left, and go back to crop, set it to fill, and we're just going to leave it like this and click on escape. Now let's insert our shape, which is the corner, the rectangle with the rounded corner. Remove the outline, change the fill to white, and we're going to make the transparency 7%. Next, let's change the dimensions. The height is going to be 7.65, and the width is going to be 22.75. Let's make this corner a bit less rounded, like this. Let's go ahead and insert our text. So go to insert, text box, and this is relaxation and breaks. copy that. I'm going to paste this, select the text box, change this to play fair display, change the size to 40, and just increase the width, and I'm just going to move it up a bit for now. Create a copy of this using Ctrl and Shift to keep things aligned, and do this. Change the size of this particular text box to 24. Let's change the text. Let's copy the text for this part and select all and then paste. Then finally, let's create another copy of this text box. Change this to Lato, size is going to be 18, and let's grab our remaining text, copy, and we're going to select all of this and paste this. And if I select, then I'll select that, make it a bullet point. Let's increase the width of this, and I'm just going to have something like this. Now I'll just make sure that these two are good. I'm going to group them, and I'm going to move this one in a bit till PowerPoint gives some sort of indication, and I'm just going to leave it there, and I'm just going to group them. And while this two is selected, I'll just select this, and then I'll go to align center, group it once again, and I'll just move this group to the left and up a bit around, let's see here, and that's it. Let's see it in the slideshow. Yeah, that's the slide, and we're done with this one. Let's move on to the next one. So select this image, and I'm just going to move it over to the left and go to picture formats, and the width I'm going to make it 22.45, and select crop, and I'm going to extend this handle till it's here, and let me zoom out a bit. I'm going to extend this image till we have this, and maybe I'm just going to move it in a bit, or you know what, let's just leave it at the edge. I'm just going to leave it like this, and I'm going to click on escape, return it to fit the screen. Next, I'm going to go to my notepad. I'm going to scroll up, and this color that is background 2, I'm going to copy the code and come here, go to more colors, custom, and we're going to paste the code here, and we have this. Now let's go to insert text box. Let's scroll down, and this is going to be collaborative contribution. I'm going to copy this and paste. Let's select the text box and change the font to play fair display, change the size to 40, and we're going to leave it like this. Let's create a copy of this text box, and I'm just going to have it there. Change the size of this one to 24, and let's go and grab the second text, copy that, and just select everything here and paste. Let's create another text box using this one, just create another duplicate, change this one to Lato, make the size 18, and let's grab our final text. I'm just going to copy this here, and I'm going to select everything, then paste. Or maybe we can just extend this. Let's make it a bullet point, and I'm just going to leave it like this. So I think let's group these two first and see if PowerPoint will help us out. So I'm just going to, let's see, that feels like maybe too much, maybe here. Let me just move things around. I'm just going to leave it like this. Let's go to the slideshow, and yeah, this is the slide for collaborative contribution. Let's move to the next slide, and this is our image. Let's change the, go to picture formats, make the width 16.45, and I'm just going to have this. Now go to crop and extend this to the bottom and then select fill, and we have this, and we're just going to leave it as it is. Escape. Now go to insert and we'll insert a text box. I'm going to go to my notepad, and this is time management, and I'm going to just paste that here. Let's change the font to Playfair Display. Size is going to be 40. Let me increase this, and I'm going to create a copy of this one, change the size to 24. Let's copy our second text and select everything, then paste. I'll just make this longer as well. Now let's create another copy of this text box and change this to Lato. Size is going to be 18, and we're going to select everything and then select everything here and then paste our content. Finally, make it a bullet point, and we're just going to leave it like this. Let me group these two together, and I'm just going to bring it down a bit. Let's see, maybe around here. Let me see if we'll be able to get some sort of guidance, and there is something there, but maybe that feels like a bit too much space. Let's do this instead. All right, let's go and see it in the slideshow. Yeah, we're done with the time management slide. Let's move to the next slide. So I'm just going to go to the next slide, select the image, go to picture formats, change the width to 21.2, and just bring this over here, and I'm just going to move it slightly out of the frame and go to crop and then crop it back to the edge. Escape, and we have this. Now let's go to our notepad, and I'm going to grab the third color, this background color, this background 3, copy that, come back to our slide, and I'm going to select this, go to more colors, custom, and I'm going to paste this here, and we have this. Now let's insert our text. So go to insert and text box, go to back to our notepad, and this is creative outlets. Going to copy that, come back to our slide, and I'm going to paste. Change the font to Playfair Display, change the size to 40, and I'm going to create another copy of this text here, change the size of this one to 24. Let's go to our notes, and I'm going to grab the second text, and I'm going to select everything and then paste. Create another copy of this text box, change this one, the font of this text to Lato, size is going to be 18, and we're going to copy all our text, and we're going to select everything here, then paste. Now select the text box, make it a bullet point. Let's increase the width of this so that all our text will each be, all our points will all be on 2 lines each. And let me see, okay, that looks fine. So I'm going to move things around. Let me start with this top. I'm going to group it, and let me move this maybe a bit to the top like this. Let's see if we'll have any guides on this side, and we are not, but okay, there's equal spacing for both of them from the center, and we're just going to have that there. Though we're not going to move things around. If you want to, you can of course go ahead. In fact, I feel like there's a bit too much space, so I'm just going to use my arrow key and just move it a bit to the top. Okay, let's go to the slide. Let's go to the slideshow. Yeah, this is the slide for creative outlets done. Let's move to the next slide, which is slide number 10. So we're not going to make any changes to this image. We're just going to move this to the right, and we're going to go to insert text box. I'm going to open my notes, and this is going to be organization in workflow, and I'm just going to paste that text here. Change the font to Playfair. Display size is going to be 40. Increase the width of the text box so that all the words will fit, and I'm going to, let me see, move it, let's say, to this side, and I'm going to create a copy of this text box. Change the size of this one to 24, and let's grab our second text, copy that, and we're just going to paste. Finally, let's grab a copy of this text box again. Let's change the font of this text to Lato and make the size 18. And let's copy our text. And I'm just going to select everything, then paste. Select the entire text box and make it a bullet point. We're just going to leave it as it is. So let me group these two first and maybe move it up a bit. Let's select this, and I'm going to move this up as well, and let's say we have something like this. Let's look at it in the slideshow. Yeah, that's it. Let's move to the next slide. So we're in slide 11. I'm just going to select the image, go to picture format, crop, and move this handle here to the right, move this one to the left, and then select fill, and this is what we have, and I'm just going to click on escape. Next, okay, we can just go straight to shapes and then select this rounded this rectangle with rounded corners. I'm going to remove the outline, make the fill white, and transparency is going to be 7%. Let's change the dimensions of this rectangle. So the height is going to be 4.5 and the width is going to be 16.5, and I'm just going to make it just slightly less rounded. Then let's go ahead and insert our text, but before we do that, let's just create a copy of the rectangle for what we'll need here. I'm just going to go to insert text box, notes, and then cultivating innovation. I'm going to copy that and paste. Select that, change the text to Playfair. Display size is going to be 40, and I'm going to increase that here just till it fits, and I'm going to move this to this side. Create a copy of this text using Control, and I'm going to reduce the size of this one to 24. Let's go ahead and grab the second text, copy that, and I'm going to select all of that and then paste. I'm going to let me move this. It's supposed to, okay, let me create a copy of the text box here as well. Select these two, group them, select the rectangle, go to arrange, align center, and then align middle, and I'm going to group this. And let me just move this a little in and maybe slightly to the top, like, let me see, like this, and escape. Let's now work on this rectangle. So this rectangle, go to shape format. The height is going to be 5.85 and the width is going to be 13.5. I'm going to move this slightly to the left, or probably the right. We'll probably still move it around, and I'm just going to reduce the roundness of this corner a little bit. Let's select this text, change the, let's go to home, change the font to Lato, and change the size to 18. Let's grab our text. I'm just going to go to my notes, select, copy all our text, and I'm going to select everything, then paste. Select the text box and then make it a bullet point. I'm going to reduce all the text should be on 2 lines, and I'm going to reduce the width of our text, then move it till it's centered on this rectangle. And why not, let's group it. I'm just going to move this, let's say, up. Let's see if PowerPoint will guide us. It's not, no worries, we're just going to work with what we have. I'm just going to move it like, let's say here. Escape, let's go to the slideshow. And yeah, that's it, we're done with this slide. Let's move on to the next slide. So as usual, go to the next slide, select the image. Let me just make sure it's centered. Okay, go to picture format, go to crop, and I'm going to move this handle to the right, move this one to the left, and then I'm going to select fill, and I'm going to move this down like this. Escape to close that dialog. Now let's insert a rectangle. So let's go to shapes, and we're going to select this rounded corner rectangle. Remove the outline, change the fill to white, make the transparency 7%, and we're going to reduce the roundness of this corner. Let's go to the height, change the height to 11.5, and the width will be 16. Alright, now let's insert our text. So go to insert text box, and I'm going to go to my notes, and this is going to be sharing resources. I'm going to draw a text box here and then paste. Select the entire text box, and we're going to change this to playfair display. Size is going to be 40. Increase the width of the text box so it will fit, and then let's create a copy of this text box like this. Change the size of this text box, the text here, to 24. Go back to our notes, select the second text and copy it, and we're going to select everything, then paste. Finally, select this text box, create another copy, change the font to Lato, size is going to be 18. Let's go ahead and grab the final text, and we're going to paste it here. Select the entire text box, make it a bullet point, and we're going to increase the width so that all the points will be on 2 lines. So let me take a moment to look at it. Let's see, you know what, I'm just going to leave it like this. So there's no need to group this one on top and then group this one. I'm just going to select all of them, group it, select the rectangle, go to arrange, and we'll align center, arrange, align middle, and group it again. And I'm just going to maybe move it slightly to the side, and then I'm going to go to arrange, align middle again. And yeah, we're done with this. Let's say it's in the slideshow. I'm just going to open this. Yeah, we're done with this slide. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. I'm just going to go over here. So select this image, just go to picture format, change the width to 17.5, and move it all the way to the left. Now select this crop option and extend this here. Go back to crop, select fill, and we're just going to leave it like this. Escape. Now let's go to insert text box, go to our notes, and then we're going to copy the title, which is adapting to change, and paste it here. Let's select the text box, change this to playfair display, make the size of the text 40, and I'm going to increase the width. Let me move this a bit to the left, and I'm going to create a copy of this text box, change the size to 34, and I'm going to go back to the notes, copy this, and I'm going to select all of this and paste. Let me increase this. Let me just select both of them right now. Just move this to the left. Okay, let me select this one, and I'm going to create a copy of this and bring it down. Change the text, the font to Lato, and then change the size to 18, and we're going to go ahead and copy our text and select everything here, then paste. Let's select the text box, make it a bullet point, and I'm just going to reduce this so we have this. Let me group this two. I'm just going to group this one, and let's kind of figure out where we're going to put this. Okay, so this bottom text is just on the middle line, and I'm going to grab this and bring this down till, okay, we have equal spacing from the top and also the bottom. Yeah, let's say it's in the slideshow. Yeah, we're done with this slide. Let's now move on to the final slide. So what I'm going to do is go back to our first slide, select the image and just copy it, and I'm going to go back to slide 14 and I'm going to paste, and I'm going to insert a shape. So I'm just going to go to shapes. Once again, use our rectangle with rounded corners, remove the outline, change the fill to white, and make the transparency 7%. Let's change the height of this rectangle to 7.5, and the width is going to be 22.6. Let's make the corner a little less rounded, let's say like this, and I'm just going to, let's move it there. Now let's go into insert text box, go back to our notes, copy the title, which is conclusion, and I'm going to paste that here. Select the entire text box, change the font to Playfair Display, size is going to be 14, and I'm going to change the alignment to center. I'm just going to grab a copy of this text box, change the alignment to left, change the font to Lato, and the size is going to be 10. And let's go back to our text, copy the rest of the text, and we are going to paste. Select the entire text box and change the and add the bullet points. Now let's increase the length of our text box till we have this. Finally, let's just kind of like see, figure out the spacing between the two. Just leave it like it. I'll just leave it like it is. I'm going to group them, and I'm going to select these two, go to arrange, align center, and select this group and the rectangle, arrange, align center, once again align middle, and then group. Then go to arrange, align to center, and then align to middle. And we are done with this slide. Let's see it in the slideshow. And yeah, this is it. We're done with our presentation, and we can just add a very quick transition. So for this presentation, I really don't know what I would use, so you can go ahead and use whatever you want to. I just want to add a transition because, you know, yeah, just to have something. You can't just have it like that, but this is a bit fast. I'll just go with, let's say, 1.5, and I'm going to apply to all. So let's see it in the presentation, and yeah, this is our slideshow, and you can see our presentation. You can change the transition if you don't like it, maybe change the direction of how it wipes, or yeah, if you want to use this template as it is, you can go ahead and use it. I just wanted to use flat illustrations in a PowerPoint presentation, or you could just take elements of what you are seeing and apply it to your slides. But with that said, we have come to the end of this video. Please like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.